The vision of the company is to try and touch the lives of everyone in the world at some point in time. And Autoreg is just one of the services that we have deployed towards that goal. We started with that in 2007. February 1st, we deployed in Lagos in 2007, and we've been able to grow into as many as 24, 25 states in Nigeria, and across the continent into Sierra Leone, and then we are also in Jamaica at this time. So we are very innovative as a company, and we call ourselves an international company with the local hearts, global in our outlook, but local in our pursuit of excellence. We are 10 years on Lagos State at the very least. Autoreg came about in terms of trying to resolve the perennial problem, the very, very difficult problem of getting motor vehicle administration documentation, getting it right by the motorists and the users of the road. It is the flagship service of Courteville and makes it the most popular, as it were. We decided that in order to launch well, in order to be able to prove to anyone that we are what we say we are, we decided to start in Lagos State, because Lagos presents the most challenging environment for you to try to engage in this kind of exercise. It is one where almost everyone is quite savvy, very educated and knowledgeable about what their rights are, what to expect, the kind of service that they will appreciate. And then with the challenging infrastructure at that time, I'm talking about 2007 here, the traffic, the road, the lack of access to all sorts of facilities that will allow you to do things on time. We said, okay, let us start with Lagos State. And as God will have it, we were given that first opportunity in Lagos State. Because we knew that if we were successful in Lagos State, with all the attendant resistance by a lot of the stakeholders, we knew we'd be able to succeed anywhere else in the world. And we did. 2007, February, was when we started. But we've been talking to them since the middle of 2006, presenting them what we thought would work, and we work along with them to cover all lapses and the overlaps and gaps, and then we came up with something that was quite innovative. It still remains the first of its type anywhere in the world. It's only in Nigeria, and with Autoreg you can get this done. Lagos State gave us the first opportunity. Then we went on to Anambra State and Oyo State, Delta State. Now we're in about 24, 25 states. The idea itself is to overcome challenges that people are facing. The same challenges that you are likely to face in trying to get the government to engage with this. One challenge was that of the resistance by the stakeholders. I'm talking about not necessarily the government or public, but the people in government, people around the public. We were trying to dislodge or disrupt an industry that had been there for generations, for decades, where people were used to getting their documents done anyhow, where families had been built on an alternative industry to what government has set in place, and where people were used to getting things done any which way they wanted to get it done. The first challenge was in the lack of belief in the capability of a Nigerian company to come up with a solution that could solve these problems. But because we identified what the challenges were, the idea of lack of documentation, lack of database, counterfeiting, loss of revenue by government, and then the fact that accessibility or lack thereof has created a lot of these challenges. We based the objectives of Autoreg on solving those challenges. So we came up with 5 points. And these 5 points were to resolve the issue of counterfeiting, 2, to remove touting in the system, 3, to collect or attempt to collect fully and remit government revenue. 4, to create a database system. And 5, to provide the kind of integrity to the system by creating that kind of access that will allow people, ease of getting the facility, the service, to themselves. And these were the objectives that we set out to achieve. And apparently, in solving these, challenges, we came up with a world-class solution, because you will see that these challenges really are peculiar to Nigeria, and some of them peculiar to Lagos alone. And once you go beyond the shores of this country, when the challenges are no longer relevant or there, you have something that's almost like an overkill, to the services that are required. So we were able to get around all this by the system being able to fully document each transaction, and it's transparent, because as it is done, the state sees, we see, the owner of the vehicle sees. And then we were also able to ensure that once you have the document, you are sure that the state has the records of your vehicle and yourself that cannot be changed by anybody anywhere in the world. The lessons for us are that we can do whatever it is we want to do, because the local challenges are local most of the time, and they have to be experienced by the locals themselves to understand what needs to be done. And it's only when you appreciate what the challenges are that you can actually come up with any sensible effort at resolving them. We have learned, and we are still learning the fact that a lot of our governments, especially at the federal level, still do not understand the fact that there are a lot of good things that come out of the system in Nigeria, especially the IT space. And there is a lot of young men and women coming out of schools, training themselves and getting better, and being able to come up with solutions that will address infrastructural gaps and challenges as we have. For Autoreg to be the first of its kind in the world since 2007, and still is, it should say something to government. But we still struggle with the fact that we are not, as entrepreneurs, as IT practitioners, still recognized so well by the government of the day. Aside from forward-looking states like Lagos states and the rest of them, you will realize that without Autoreg intending to be in every state, it is still not every state in Nigeria that has a system that is this automated that makes it easy. Not because they don't understand what it is, it's because they just do not believe that they need to go that route. They don't have to make things easy. So we hope government at different levels will continue to appreciate the fact that as Nigerians, only Nigerians will appreciate the challenges that we face. And it's only Nigerians or Nigerian entities that can also come up with solutions towards them. Secondly, we realize that there is a lot of talent in Nigeria regarding this. People outside recognize it. That's why you have Facebook coming to invest. You have, Microsoft coming to try and, train people locally. You have all sorts of agencies from abroad doing things in the IT space. There's a lot of talent, and they have to be nurtured. They have to be encouraged. We employ over 200 directly in Courteville, and indirectly we have given employment to over 10,000 concurrently. And we believe that the kind of industry, small cottage industries that we create around the system helps in engaging people. It allows us to give back to the society, allows us to give back to our stakeholders. And this is a very critical, part of our mission, by giving back value to those that have been part of our successes, including government as well. We also know that to get anybody convinced in government, even where you work, there is a lot of political intrigues. There's a lot of issues surrounding personalities. Sometimes it doesn't matter whether you are doing a good job of it or not. But what matters is what you have, if it can sell itself to the people that use the service. And we found out in a couple of places that even where the government of the day in those states want to change the interest, the people have insisted and stood their ground to say, this works for us, we can get it done. Yes, I only thank God for His mercies all the while. all the while that we've been here in Courteville. It's not just me. This award will not just be about me. I have, a number of people that work with me, junior and senior, and it wouldn't have been any success if we weren't for, the cooperation that I want to have gotten from them. Now, I do not know if the award came in this manner solely because of Autoreg. There are a number of things that we do beyond Autoreg that also provides this kind of exposure to Courteville. And if the award is because of what Courteville has achieved, then really the winner really itself is not just Courteville. It is Courteville, it is the state, it is the people, it is Nigeria as a whole. We won award outside Nigeria. The Commonwealth, the whole of Commonwealth graded our NAPAM's service as the best across the Commonwealth, best application. We are given the award in the UK by the ICT ministers of Commonwealth countries. Now, we supply services that we design specifically for agencies like NAFDAC, insurance industry, local education institutions, and a lot of other services like that. So, but what does not change, what never changes in what we do, is the fact that we always set out looking at the local challenges that this have brought about and addressing them. And at the end of the day, we come up with innovations that work. The award is quite, interesting. I again insist that I do not know how my name got there, but I was told eventually by the organizer that there were 100 names originally shortlisted before being reduced to 10 of those of us that eventually came out for the voting process. I thank God for my life. I thank God for my company. I thank God for my people, and I thank God for Lagos State. Thank God for the state, for the center that conducted it, and we hope that this will continue, to offer us as Nigerians, myself, my company, and the rest of Nigeria, the kind of exposure to what we are capable of doing to the rest of the world. The plan, I'll tell you immediately, is for us to be able to provide that platform to hand over to the next set, the next generation of people, of people within here and outside here, that will be able to take the mantle from us, have the vision changing, have the vision change to what will become relevant for the industrial evolution that is digital largely, for us to take Nigeria and Africa into the next, industrial engagement around the world. We have a lot of stuff to do. We can no longer leapfrog the West and quite a bit of the Far East in terms of our industrialization. So if you cannot catch up with that, we have to find a way of using the IT to keep up with what is happening out there. Some of us are already getting too old. The young men like yourselves are the ones that need to take up this fight on behalf of the country and the continent and take it to the next level. Because with IT, you do not need a lot of infrastructure, you do not need a lot of resources. The greater resource you need are your people and their brains. And if one can get them to be challenged at that level, they can compete with anybody else, anywhere else, anyhow in the world. So for Courteville, we are in the process of turning over the whole of the business, the whole of the engagement to the younger ones that we are currently training, about 57 to 60 of them in this system. So that not only can they take over here, they can also be supplied to various sectors, including government, to go and showcase what they have learned as part of their middle management and executive management training programs.